Hey everyone, what is going on? I am back with another video, and today I'm actually going to be talking about grading cards, and I am preparing a huge order for PSA and some BGS stuff. So I figured I would put everything up on my desk and show you guys what I am sending off to be graded, what I think about cards right now, and I hope this can help you. If you've never graded cards before, it can help you get an understanding of what to do and what to grade. And for those that have graded cards, I think it's good to show you guys what I'm sending off to be graded. Maybe it can help you understand what maybe you should send off to be graded, or maybe values behind this. Now, of course, grading, there's a lot of investing that goes on in grading and a lot of flipping that goes on in grading. And that's really what grading has been leaning towards and more as people send off more stuff to be graded. But there are still people that just collect graded cards, and that I am one of them. I will show you some stuff in this lot, and there's going to be some Celtics stuff in this lot. You're like, why are you sending that off? Well, I'm a Celtics fan. I want it graded. So I don't care if it's a 9 or 10. I mean, I do, but you know what I mean? Like, I want it for the collection. I think it'd look cool graded. So keep that in mind as well when you see some of these cards, and I'll try to point that out as I go along. So starting with the basics, though, obviously you want to pick up something like this. It is a Ultra Pro graded card submission semi-rigid card holders. Most of your local card shops can have these, and you can also just look on eBay. People will be selling these by the box. It comes with 200. It says for grading submissions specifically. Grading companies can be pretty funny as far as top loads and all that stuff, but these are great. Like, I'll just pull this one from the top. As you can see, that's how it slides in. Looks really, really cool and nice. And I think if you're just going to sell cards at shows and stuff, it's pretty cool as well. It's great for selling cards in general, but definitely if you're going to be grading cards, keep them in stuff like that. That's pretty nice, and it goes really smoothly, and you can keep track of them. Now, I also have a graded box, so what I do is all my stuff that I prepare for grading submissions, I just put in a specifically graded type box. This is designed to hold the graded cards and in their holders, so I typically will put stuff in boxes like this, but I also have the PSA backpack, which is really cool. It's like really clean inside and all that, so I usually put my PSA stuff in there. It's easy to put on and just take to shows and whatnot. Now, you can go through PSA and BGS directly. Those are the two top grading. There's also BCCG, some other grading companies, but PSA and Beckett are your two big grading companies. That's who I usually go through. Now, you can go directly through them, or you can get in with potentially like Clay Cards. If you have not checked out Clay Cards, I would recommend him. Now, I have never used Clay Cards, but everybody I've talked to says Clay Cards is awesome. He sends these bulk orders, and you get really nice discounts. But I don't have to use Clay Cards because I have a local card shop that does submissions for me. And that's why I support my LCS. I do a lot of stuff with Shop Meelypops, and if you have not seen Shop Meelypops, be sure to check them out. There will be links in the description down below, so go click on those now. He will do submissions, so if you're in the Central Florida, Gainesville, Florida area, I drive 2 hours to send my stuff off, and he will take care of it for me. Sends it in bulk, so that's great. So I go through Meelypops, my local card shop. It's just easier for me. But definitely check out Clay Cards, and you can also do this stuff yourself if you want to. By all means, you're free to do that. So that's how I send my stuff off. So I'm going to show you guys, and I guess I'll get started. So this is what I have ready to go for BGS and PSA grade. So right now I only have 2 cards ready for BGS, and these are my RPAs. So I have a Jalen Hurts RPA, and it looks really nice, clean edges. Now, I typically send my RPAs and the newer stuff to BGS. I like the way that they grade their autographs, and I like the way the cases are for RPAs. Thought that was a sweet RPA, and it is 4 out of 15 on the numbered card. Same thing with Henry Ruggs. As you can tell, I'm an Alabama fan. Nice Henry Ruggs patch there out of 25. So those are going to BGS. Now, some people will grade autographs at BGS as well. I like PSA. I just like PSA because of their whole set registry and everything that kind of lines up. I started with PSA, and that's where I've been going. Now, PSA, some of this stuff is a little lenient on centering. PSA usually is lenient on centering, so some of the stuff I'm sending off, I want PSA to grade it because Beckett's really brutal on centering. Now, vice versa, PSA is really, really strict on edges from my experience. So you want to make sure your edges are sharp and clean condition. So this is a Burrow autograph that was pulled, and I'm going to be sending that off. It's not numbered, but that's going to PSA as well. Looks pretty good. The only thing I don't like is this corner down here. You can see it down there. If everything comes back at 10, the corners come back at 8, you'll probably grade a 9. If I can get an 8 or 9 on it, I'm fine with that. Collectors like things, and I just feel like this is a card that has to be graded. That's how I feel. Now, typically, I am not sending off cards and going through cards and I'm like, oh, that's a PSA 8, I'm going to send it off. That's not how I operate. Usually I'm looking for 10s, if not 9s. But the way the market is going right now, PSA 8s are selling, which is crazy. And I'm okay if I have some PSA 8s in my personal collection. 8s are not that bad. Anything below an 8 gets kind of rough, but PSA 8s are pretty good. So I am not going through, and I would not recommend you going through and saying, oh, the centering's off, it'll still be an 8. I wouldn't do that. Look for your perfect cards. This card is kind of an exception because it's such a high-end card. I feel like it has to be graded. So moving that aside, I do have one baseball card. It looks really good. It's a Fergie Jenkins out of 10. And then these are my football cards here that are being ready to be graded. Now, I do mostly football and basketball, more a little bit basketball, but I've been doing a lot of football lately with the new season. So Jalen Hurts. So anything Optichrome, this stuff is from Legacy, but Optichrome has a really nice finish to it, and it looks pretty good. So there's a Tua, Justin Herbert. As you can see, it's like top quarterbacks. Now, these are just base inserts record books, but I like the gold foil on the bottom, and it's Patrick Mahomes. Same thing with Tom Brady there. These two guys grade really well, and I would like these for my personal collection. They're not going to get a lot of value, I don't think, if they're just inserts that come out of PSA 10, because they are just basic inserts. However, they're really cool. They would look cool graded, so I'm going to send those off. I think that'd look neat. Just some Legacy-based rookies. Some people don't send just base Legacy stuff. A lot of people just send Optic and Prism and Select and Obsidian. I send this stuff off. I think it's cool. So this is stuff that I'm sending. As you can see, there's a trend here with quarterbacks. I'm sending a lot of quarterback guys off. There's some Burrows. Whoops, 2 Tuas. Nice little mini there of Herbert. I like sending unique stuff like minis off to be graded. Justin Jefferson. That's a bronze number to 100, but it's a bronze card. It's serial numbered. It looks pretty cool, so I'm sending that off. Same thing with Grant Delpit. That's numbered to 199, but it's a serial numbered card, rookie, so that could do well if he ends up going well. So some of the stuff that I'm sending off is definitely an investment. Like right now, I don't think Grant Delpit or Justin Jefferson will get high as far as price if you're going to resell these graded. But if they go off in the NFL, all of a sudden you've got a good investment. Same thing with like Nate Stanley. He's just a low-end quarterback that was graded, but he is a quarterback, and this one's out of 10. So if you notice the trend here, anything low serial numbered, even if it's like a rookie quarterback that's kind of lower in the draft, I'm sending it off just in case he goes off. And I have a PSA 10 gold Nate Stanley. That's big money, you know, but you just have to risk that money of sending it off and seeing what happens. Some more Burrows to Jeff Okunda to 149. That looks pretty cool. I think an Ohio State person would like that, but that's a nice Crown Royale. Jalen Hurts, that serial numbered on the back. Jordan Love. That's a case hit downtown Cam Akers. It is Cam Akers. He's pretty high up in the draft. I think he's going to the Jaguars. I'm not sure exactly what team, but it's a case hit. So it's got short print and rarity. So that's what I'm sending off. So if you see the trend here, it's pretty much your top tier rookies. Anything rare like special short prints, golds, low serial numbered stuff, that's pretty much what I'm sending off. Especially rookies. There's a Burrow purple to 99. Some more Burrows here. Some more Tuas. Okay, so that's my football. So that's pretty much what I have together for football. It's all 2020 football, and I'll move that aside a little bit there. This is what I have for basketball. Now, basketball has exploded even more than football. So some of this stuff are just basic rookie guys, and I'm sending off because you just never know. Like, the Grizzlies make the playoffs and all that. Who knows? So that's a Brandon Clark from this year's Select. It looks pretty good. Cam Reddish, Mosaic. This is pretty basic stuff. Introductions, John Morant. Looks pretty nice. LeBron stuff grades really well, so make sure you pull your LeBron stuff. That's an MVP. It's a nice card. RJ's kind of down right now, but I have a lot of his cards, so I'm sending those off. Hachimura, Jackson Hayes. That one's numbered to 199. I figured I would take that, send that off. So we have with the stack here. Brandon Clark, I think this is low. Yeah, this is numbered to 25. That's definitely got to go. It's Brandon Clark. More Domboyas. Now that's just regular Donruss, but the centering looks pretty good on those, so I'm going to send those. Hoops is the same way. Never thought I'd be sending NBA hoops, just base rookie cards off, but here we are. It's 2020 in the sports card hobby. That's a holo arriving now. That actually sells for a good bit, so I'm going to send that off. It's actually kind of lenient of not sending it off. There's some edging. More RJs. It's just base prisms. Darius Garland stuff. I like Darius Garland too. He looks good in Cleveland. Domboyas. Tyler Hero. Kobe White. Hopefully you guys can see the trend of what I'm doing here. I'm sending off kind of star rookies and rookies that were highly drafted overall. Now this is like a Celtics guy, Grant Williams. He got a lot of playing time. Now this is for my personal collection as well, but he is probably getting the most playing time out of all the rookies for the Celtics. Same thing with Carson Edwards. Like, this is a Celtics green, so be sure to also look for team colors like Lakers purple, Celtics green. Get that trend. Atlanta maybe red, Orlando blue. Get those special color inserts, team color inserts. They can look really well graded. That's PJ Washington, but it's a pink cracked ice, so I figured I'd send that one off. These are your variations. So I'm sending the variations once again on that special short print trend. Figured I'd send those off. They're kind of rare. My House, cool inserts, so I'm going to send those. Of course, I have the My House Zion, which is really cool. Now, on the bigger cards like this, these are not perfect. As you can see, maybe you can see that. The centering's not bad, but it's not perfect. I'm still sending them off because, unbelievably, PSA 8 Zions are selling. And even if they don't sell for a good bit, I still want it graded because it'd be good, nice in my personal collection. So I do have a couple of Zions. They're not perfect on the centering. That one's a little bit more off on the bottom, if you can see. But overall, I mean, it's nice. They're nice cards. One of these Jaws is pretty off-centered. I think it's this one, actually. Once again, Ja Morant, potential Rookie of the Year. Kind of like a Russell Westbrook type of guy. Sending them off. So I'm a little bit more lenient on the higher-end cards because they have such high demand. Even if they come back with a PSA 8, you know, that's okay with me for now. I used to never be okay with PSA 8s. Now I'm fine with it because of the way the hobby is. Something like this, it better be perfect. You don't really want... Now, this is a Celtics guy, so if it's somebody of your favorite team, it's not a perfect card, but you want it graded, maybe a PSA 8, you're like, okay, maybe. But if you're looking to invest, it doesn't look good, and it's a rookie you're trying to invest in, be very careful because you could get stuck with some PSA 8s of guys that never really do anything in the NBA, if that makes sense. That's a nice Grant Williams. Of course, my guy Taco Fall, I had to send... These tacos are not perfect either. If I can get 8s on these, I'm happy because it's Taco Fall. These are going straight to my personal collection. Cool stuff. That's definitely off-center, as you can see the top and bottom. These are not horrible. Like, I'm sitting here kind of bashing some of these cards. But nevertheless, they're not horrible. I did put them into the grading stuff. They're just, in my opinion, not 10s. I'm pretty strict on how I send things off, so maybe you can get an understanding for that. More Celtics guys. I sent Nasir Little. Kind of a, I mean, people know of him, but he's not a top overall pick, but it is number 225. So that's a pretty rare card, so I figured I'd throw that in there. There's a nice rookie Kings Donovan Mitchell. Then I have some 18-19 stuff of some rookies that everybody's just kind of waiting to see what happens. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, a bunch of his stuff. That's a nice Phoenix from Chronicles. Michael Porter Jr., that's a big question mark, but I like it. I'm going to send that one off. Devontae Graham, that's just a regular Hoops card. There's a nice Luka there. Colin Sexton, same thing. Everybody's just kind of in a holding pattern on him. But it's cool stuff. He actually was from Alabama as well, so I'll send his stuff off. And then Jaren Jackson from Memphis. Throwing his stuff. Now, this is just regular Chronicle stuff, but it's cool. Figured I would send it off and see what happens. Now, preparing for cards for graded, you definitely want to get like a microfiber cloth and just kind of go over the surfaces and edges. Make sure there's no fray on the edges if you can. DeAndre Ayton, that's another guy I'm sending. So this is just submission. Of course, submissions are so far behind right now. I'm not expecting this back for 6 months. So if you want things sped up, you need to do like 30-day, 5-day even submissions for higher end cards. Now the RPAs are going to go 30-day BGS. The Joe Burrow is probably going to go 30-day. Most of this other stuff, I don't mind waiting. Like, it's fine. These guys aren't going anywhere. Some of you may say, send the Zions 30-day, things like that. But I'm not, like I said, I'm not planning on getting rid of those Zions. That's for my personal collection. So it all evolves around what you want for your personal collection, what you want to flip. But that's pretty much it, guys. So this is, I think, 110 cards to PSA and a few other to BGS. And this is going to be off to Meelypops shop, my local card shop, as I mentioned earlier in the video. I really hope this video was informative for you guys, and you can kind of see what I'm sending off, the cards that I'm sending off, and what I'm doing. It's definitely, I wanted to make a video on this because this is so different than how I usually do things. I'm always just searching for those PSA 10s and, you know, be okay if they're 9s, but the hobby is changing. PSA 8s are fine right now, and the demand for a lot of these cards are fine at PSA 8. So you never want to lower your standards as far as grading, but definitely there is some room, I think, or some wiggle room on conditions of cards, but never let your standards go for sure. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and leave a comment down below what you think of these cards. Let me know if anybody's a high risk or things you wouldn't send off, or maybe some tips that I should do even better, or maybe things that you're doing that have worked for you. I hope this really does help you out. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to drop a like and subscribe for more content, and I will see you in the next video.